Today, we're going to talk about the first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week. New Comic Book Day, February 23rd, 2022. That and a whole lot more coming up next. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the Small Town Collectibles YouTube channel. So before we get into talking about all the first appearances and the key issues and the cool covers this week, I want to ask you, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do that now. Hit that subscription button, turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content, smash that like button, and hang around to the end of the video and find out how to win this week's giveaway. All right, with all that out of the way, let's jump into our first category, and that is our covers. And the first one up on my list this week is Catwoman #4, the Cover B variant by Jenny Frison. Now, I am a sucker for a Jenny Frison variant pretty much any time. I really do dig her art style. I really love her Wonder Woman covers, and I think she's done a phenomenal job with one of my favorite characters, Catwoman, as well. So yeah, this Catwoman #40 Cover B variant, first on our list this week. And then next up, we've got DC vs. Vampires #5, the Cover B variant by Francisco Mattina. Mattina just kills these covers. Like this DC vs. Vampire cover work that he's been doing. I think it was, Deceased. He did a bunch of Cover Bs on that as well. Absolutely love these. This one, we've got the Joker looking like he's, half the Joker, half vampire. I think it's sick. Absolutely love that one. That's a definite pickup for me. So next up is a cover. I'm not really sure why I like it, but I do. When I saw it, I was like, I dig this. And that's Harley Quinn #12. It's the Cover C Incentive by Rian Gonzalez. And again, I don't really know what I like about it. I do kind of dig the, it's a background of different black and white sketches, almost kind of laid out in a comic book format with Harley busting out of the middle of the page. In color, and I don't know, I just think it's cool. I don't know it's one I'll necessarily pick up, but as I've said on here before, what I kind of do with these covers is if it just really stands out to me when I see it, I generally put it on the list. But yeah, this Harley Quinn #12 Cover C Incentive by Gonzalez, I think is a cool cover this week, and it may be one you dig too. So the last couple of covers this week come from Marvel. The first one is Elektra Black, White, and Blood #2, the Cover A by Adam Hughes. Now, I'm not necessarily a huge negative space variant fan. Some of them I dig, like there's a Moon Knight I really love. There's that Luke Skywalker Star Wars that I love. And I kind of like this one. And I've always said I'm a sucker for a red background. I'm a sucker for Elektra. And so I really kind of dig the way this Cover A looks. So that's Elektra Black, White, and Blood #2, the Cover A. And then I really like this cover. It's the X-Deaths of Wolverine #3, Cover C variant by Christian Ward. And I think it's the yellow, but I also kind of dig the fact that it looks like Wolverine is, robotic in some way, or there's something is running through him. I don't know. I just think it's dope. I really like the yellow cover. I like Wolverine. So yeah, I wanted to add this one to the list this week, and it's one I very well may pick up as well. All right, guys, that wraps up our covers this week. Before we jump into our second prints, I do want to shout out channel sponsor IRF Authentics. If it isn't signed, it isn't complete. IRF Authentics, great supporter. I'm a big fan of their mystery box. Every book that comes in it is autographed. They'll have a new run coming out here soon, so be on the lookout for that. Definitely go give those guys a follow. They post some interesting content on Instagram as well. IRF Authentics, big shout out to them for being a channel sponsor. All right, now let's jump into our second prints. And I've went on, probably the last 4 or 5 videos and said there's no second prints. Well, there's plenty this week. So first up, we've got Devil's Reign #1, the Cover I second print by Marco Checchetto. Very cool cover. I actually like the Cover A on this as well when it originally came out. So I think this is cool. Also love that storyline. And I really like this one. It's the Devil's Reign #2, Cover E second print by Checchetto as well. And I really dig that cover. I think it's cool, and I may pick that one up for myself. Then we have Hulk #2, the Cover D second print by Ryan Ottley. Very cool book. I actually dig the color of this second print, the purple color. I think it goes well with Hulk and the green. Obviously. Next up, we've got Moon Knight #6, Cover D second print by Alessandro Cappuccio. No idea if I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. but that's the best I can do. But very cool cover. All the Moon Knight covers are dope. I think they're like Venom and Carnage and some of those, even Spawn, that you can make awesome covers. I don't care what you're doing. I think Moon Knight's one of those characters. And then a book that I really wish I would have added to my covers list. The more I looked at it, the more I just really love it. Star Wars Crimson Reign #1 Cover Q second print by Linnell Francis Yu. Absolutely dig this cover. Black and white, you got Darth Vader and the Emperor in the background. I love that one. I think that one's awesome. If I can find it, I'm definitely grabbing that one. Then we have Star Wars Crimson Reign #1 Cover R second print Incentive by Stephen Cummings. So this is a sketch variant. And I'm not a huge sketch variant person, really. But if you dig those, this is a pretty cool book to maybe, be on the lookout for. Then we've got several here, or a couple from Thor. We've got Thor #20 Cover D second print by Nick Klein. Very cool cover on that one as well. Then we have Thor #20 Cover E second print, The Incentive by Nick Klein as well. And this one is a pretty dope cover, but it's really expensive. I think on Midtown it was like 120 bucks. So best of luck on that one, but that is a pretty cool cover. Then we've got a few from Timeless. We've got Timeless #1, which was of course a one shot. We've got the Cover L second print by Jesus Says. This cover is the first cover appearance of Punisher with the new symbol that everybody freaked out about. So that's that book. Then we have Timeless #1 Cover M second print by Mark Bagley. Not a big fan of this one, but I did want to let you know it's out there if that's something you want to pick up. Then you have Timeless #1 Cover M second print by Humberto Ramos. This is the, I guess the original, I guess it was maybe a cover B or C with the clock on it that we saw in Loki. So yeah, very cool. That cover got really hot. So we've got an incentive cover this week for that one. Then we've got Venom #2 Cover E second print by Francesco Mabelli. Decent cover, but if you're in the second prints, that Venom story's been okay so far. Then we also have Venom #3 Cover D second print by Brian Hitch. Continuing on with our second prints, I was not joking. There's a ton of them this week. We've got Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer #1 Cover I second print by Abigail Larson. One of my favorite reads for many reasons, Hard Case Crime Gun Hunting #3 Cover F second print by Jay Anceletto. Love that cover, or love that book. There is no cover image that I could find for this book, so I apologize for that. And then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin #1 Cover H 5th printing, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin #2 Cover E 4th printing. Shouldn't there be a new book coming out in that series? It seems like it's been forever since there was another book on that one. Maybe it ended and I just don't know about it. But I'm not a big Turtles guy. I have read The Last Ronin. It's okay. I like the first issue pretty good. I think maybe 2 and 3 weren't that great as far as I'm concerned. But like I said, I'm not necessarily a Turtles guy. If that's what you're into, you do have these multiple printings coming out this week for #1 and #2. All right, that's it for the second prints. That was a lot. And like I said, making up for the last several weeks where we had none. But let's jump on over into our key issues. We're going to start, as always, with DC. First book up is Aquaman #1. The solicitation references an Atlantean sleeper agent involved in terrorism, and it also mentions it's a deeper dive into the conclusions of Aquaman the Becoming and Black Manta. So if you're an Aquaman fan, you've got that out this week. Then we've got Deathstroke #6, or Deathstroke Inc. #6, and in the solicitation it refers to Deathstroke becoming a king. I already thought Deathstroke was a king. I love Deathstroke. He's one of my favorite DC characters as well. And you'll figure out, like I said, Catwoman earlier, they're all my favorite characters. I love them all, but Superman is the best. Just saying. All right, let's jump on over into Marvel. First book up, we've got Carnage Forever #1. This is a one-shot anthology of horror stories with the Carnage symbiote merged with a new host that currently exists in the Marvel Universe, so that might be cool to check out. Then we've got Miss Marvel Beyond the Limit #3. The identity is revealed of Q Aaron, let's say Q Aaron, I like that better. A teenage shapeshifter who's been impersonating Miss Marvel. Then we've got Miles Morales, Spider-Man #35. Quantum, who now possesses the Space Infinity Stone, and the Assessor will return in this issue. I've really been enjoying this read. I do enjoy reading Miles. Pretty much enjoy reading all the Spider-Man characters, but I really do enjoy Miles. And I'm looking forward to the Assessor and Quantum, returning. I think that's going to be kind of cool. Then we've got Silk #2, where we get a team up of Silk and Luna Snow. There's also a mysterious new villain referenced in Silk #1, but does not seem to have been fully revealed in the first issue, so you may be on the lookout for that one here. I couldn't confirm if it is the first appearance in this book, but you do want to be on the lookout for that. Then I've got Strange Academy #16, which has been written by Scotty Young, for no other reason than I think you should be on this book. I absolutely love the Strange Academy, and I think it is tailor-made for Disney Plus. So if you're sleeping on Strange Academy, I think that's one you need to be looking at. And then wrapping up the list for Marvel this week is Ben Reilly Spider-Man #2. We get the return of Spider Carnage and likely a new character, since Ben Reilly, who previously bonded with the Carnage symbiote in the Amazing Spider-Man #410 to become Spider Carnage, is seemingly going to battle the character. So another one that I could not confirm a first appearance in, but there's potential to be one there, so be on the lookout for that as well. All right, now with the big two out of the way, let's jump over into our indies this week. We got several of those as well. First up, from Advent, we've got Chambers of Terror #1. In this creepy Halloween special, 2 chillingly frightening tales are told within the dark corners of the Advent universe. In Dark Pathways, evil comes to a small Midwestern town, and in Dingeon, a malevolent entity seeks freedom at any cost. So that's Chamber of Terror #1 from Advent. And then we jump over to Behemoth, and a book I'm looking forward to just because I'm a total music homer. That's Heavy Metal Drummer #1. Love that title. 1986, under the streets of Los Angeles breeds the seeds of a gruesome interdimensional conflict between order and chaos. Enter Dave, a junkie heavy metal drummer whose life is about to get a whole lot shittier. I love that. Who wouldn't want to read that? I think that sounds awesome. That's Heavy Metal Drummer #1 from Behemoth. Then we jump over to Blacktooth Comics, and we've got Emo Girl #1. Emo Girl is a Norse tale with an angry, moody, bipolar, with a take-no-prisoners attitude, troubled teenager at the center of its universe. So that sounds pretty fun. The rest of the synopsis kind of goes on to say, Emo Girl, aka Gemini Moon, is in state custody. Her father is in jail, accused of hunting down and killing a homeless man. But then they argue that it wasn't actually a homeless man, it was a vampire. So it's a vampire tale with a troubled teen. I dig that. I'm definitely going to give that a read and see if I like it. So that's Emo Girl #1 from Blacktooth Comics. Then we've got from Blood Moon Comics, another one I think sounds kind of fun. Ice Canyon Monster #1. A noble shaman releases a curse by unleashing a monster into the waters of his native land that will grow into an enraged, unstoppable beast. So kind of looking forward to reading that one as well. Kind of like the cover on that one too. I don't know why, but I thought it was pretty cool. Then from Boom, we've got all new Firefly #1. And I have read some Firefly books before. I read them for a little while, and then it was, I thought I would just wait, on a trade for those or read them online at some point. But this book is from the new creative team of Rising Star David M. Booher. He wrote Kanto, and artist Jordi Perez, who was in Queen of Bad Dreams. They kick off an all-new, shiny direction for the crew of the Serenity. So that could be fun if you're a Firefly fan. I can't talk. Say that fast 3 times. Firefly fan. So if you're a Firefly fan, can't do it. You got a new book out this week, new series coming out from Boom Studios. Also from Boom Studios, we have Killer Affairs of the State #1. It says the Eisner-nominated series returns ahead of the upcoming David Fincher Netflix film. So this is one I don't know about, but apparently there is a Netflix movie coming out. And the synopsis reads, caught and put to work as an on-call assassin for the French government, Killer has to adjust to working with a handler and a partner and living life as a civilian. So that sounds kind of cool. I'm definitely going to check that one out as well. You may want to also. Then we jump over to IDW, and we've got 2 competing forces here. First up, we've got Star Trek Klingons #1, where we get the origin of the Klingons, Kahless the Unforgettable. This is also a 52-page issue. So for all you Trekkies out there, you've got a new book out this week, Star Trek Klingons #1. And then the Star Wars fans, we've got Star Wars High Republic Adventures #13. And this is the final issue of that series. So this is a series I've been picking up, kind of specking on, because I think, again, it's kind of written for Disney Plus, and it's kind of creating this whole new universe out there, in the Star Wars mythos. So yeah, Star Wars High Republic #13, final issue this week. Then we jump over to Image, and we've got Rockstar and Soft Boy #1. This is a one-shot. Synopsis reads, Sina Grace returning to writing and drawing for the first time in 5 years to deliver a frenzied story about two best friends and their antics in Hollywood, California. So that sounds like that could be fun. Image is always pretty good. So that's one I'll definitely give a read to see if I like it. And then we've got Step by Bloody Step #1. I really kind of dug the cover on this one as well. It's kind of weird. And it says, an armored giant and a helpless child. Together, they cross an astonishing world brimming with beasts, bandits, and deadliest by far civilizations. If they stop walking, the earth itself forces them onwards. Why? The child can't ask. She and her guardian have no language, no memory, nothing except each other. I think that sounds cool. So that's Step by Bloody Step #1 from Image. Then we jump over to one of my favorites, which is Scout Comics, and we've got Distorted #1. This is a definite read for me this week. Somewhere in the world, there is someone who feels different, special, cursed, who is losing their mind right now. You're not alone. Take James, for example. He would like to run away from his parents and from a life that doesn't belong to him. On the other hand, Tom is forced to face his past and hunt down his own kind like a hound on the leash of an unknown master. Brenner is on the hunt for money and a peace he can't find anywhere. There are three people whose superpowers are more like a burden. In this world, there are no superheroes. So that's Distorted #1 from Scout Comics. Like I said, I'm definitely going to give that one a read. Also from Scout Comics, we have King Ghidorah #1. Now, it says that King Ghidorah, Hungry Like a Monster, is a funny tribute to the kaiju genre. I have no idea what that means. The synopsis reads, King Ghidorah, the king of monsters, has escaped from his prison and is causing panic in the city. The reason for his fury is simple. The king is hungry, and we all know what king's food is, don't we? Simple, the pizza. No clue. I have no clue, but if you're a King Ghidorah fan, you've got King Ghidorah #1 out this week from Scout Comics. Also from Scout, we've got Shepard the Valentine #1. Now this is the Black Caravan imprint. Like their father, Professor Lawrence Miller, aka the Shepherd, Lexi and her little brother, Nico, are lightning rods for those in greatest need. One such person shows up at their door, a little girl named Violet, V for short. V has recently escaped the clutches of a vicious killer. Traumatized but angry, the girl explains that when she was taken, she was carrying a gift for her mother. In the chaos of her escape, it was left behind. Now V wants it back. She's come to ask Lexi and Nico for help, for they are all way in over their heads. So that's Shepard the Valentine, also from Scout Comics. Then we jump over to Source Point Press, and we've got In His Own Image #1. In a not too distant future, new technologies give birth to new ways to vent violent and aggressive instincts. Subjects without any legal protection, as androids can be the victim of anything nefarious. But how long will man be able to exercise full control over the machine? This story is about the violent nature of the human being and deals with unstable struggle between man, machine, and God, between the creator and the creature made in his own image. I think that sounds awesome. So that's another definite read for me this week, and that is from Source Point Press, and that's In His Image #1. Then we jump over to Storm King Productions and another book that I'm really kind of looking forward to reading, and that's John Carpenter's Tales of Science Fiction Civilians #1. It's a bright sunny day near the Santa Monica Pier. You're reading an excellent horror novel, the latest Sutter Kane, and enjoying some downtime, but suddenly you're compelled to stand up. So is everyone else around you, and now you're walking along with them into the ocean. Stop. You want to scream. Body, please just stop, but your body refuses to listen. Not even when the waves crash over your head and the water fills your lungs. It sounds crazy. I like John Carpenter. Looking forward to reading this one. John Carpenter's Tales of Science Fiction Civilians, #1, out this week from Storm King Productions. All right, guys, that wraps up our list of key issues this week. A lot of good stuff out there to read this week. I know I say it every week, my wallet's going to be hurting. All right, before we jump into our first appearances, I have to do my weekly Comic Book Mafia member shout out. Of course, the Comic Book Mafia is the channel membership here for Small Town Collectibles. And this week's member shout out is Chip Getler, aka White Shadow. Look, there ain't a better person, and I know I say this about these guys every week, and I mean it when I say it, but there's not a better guy out there than Chip Getler. I love his channel. He does this series on and off called Coffee and Comics, where he introduces you to a new coffee and a comic book. Absolutely love that one. He's a big Star Wars fan, and he also hosts a show, a community hangout on Saturday nights called Banter. Chip is one of those guys. He understands the technology aspect of it. His look on his channel is just fire. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best out there. He's been on 10 Questions, maybe the longest 10 questions I've ever done. Chip and I got into a really deep conversation about a lot of different stuff, and he's just great. I love Chip. He's helped me out trying to figure out some of the technology stuff. He made a video for me that's private that I can go in and actually look at anytime I want to for the different things he recommends to try to upgrade my channel and the look that I have. And I haven't done any of that yet. Still kind of grinding through right now with what I have. But he was nice enough to just sit down, put this video together, and show me exactly what I need. So, yeah, that's just the kind of dude he is. He sent a car to Nick's Kicks and Comics one day. Nick said he wanted this car, and Chip sent him a little model car. He's just that kind of dude. I mean, he's just honestly the best. Got a chance to meet him at C2E2 when we were there in Chicago, and he was even better in person than he was online. So, absolutely love Chip. Chip Getler, the White Shadow, Comic Book Mafia member shout out for this week. I'll link him down in the description below. Make sure you go check my guy out. He is the absolute best. All right, now let's jump into our first appearances. So we've got 3 this week. We've got Ghost Rider #1, which is probably one of my most anticipated books this week. Love Ghost Rider. In this book, we get the first appearance of Zeb, a dark magician. We also get the first appearance of Talia Warroad, an ex-SHIELD agent, and the first team appearance of a government agency tasked to investigate Ghost Rider. So I think this is going to be a good book. There's a lot of dope covers for this one. You've got plenty to choose from on this one, not just the cover A. So that's Ghost Rider #1. Got, 3 different first appearances in there. Then we have Timeless #1. And this is not a first appearance, but it is a second print, and it's the first cover appearance of the Punisher with the new chest emblem replacing the original skull. Now, I'm not sure how long that's going to go on. That they replace the original skull. I think it has more to do with the storyline of the book. But if they do, then this is the first cover appearance of that. So you may want to grab a copy of this for your PC. And then last, from Image, we've got Supermassive #1. And in this book, we get the first appearance of Inferno Girl Red, as well as the first appearance of Rogue the Sun. Now, this book is a crossover event for Image. And it's going to take one of the most popular characters of last year, which was Radiant Black, and put him in this new book, Supermassive. And so it's a big book, extended size or extended pages. And then you get this crossover and these first appearances with Inferno Girl Red and Rogue Sun. So I think this is one to definitely be on the lookout for sure. All right, guys, that's the first appearances for this week. Not a ton this week, but I do think there's some solid ones and definites to be on the lookout for this week. So before we finish up the video, we've got to do our giveaways, right? So first giveaway this week is for these 2 books from last week. We've got this Sway variant for Devil's Reign, Luke Cage. Absolutely love that one. And there's a couple of dope Sway variants out this week as well. I think one for Iron Man with Riri on the cover, and the others for for Dark Ages, which is real cool as well. So, but this is what we're giving away this week. Devil's Reign, Luke Cage variant, and then this just sick Joker variant for the Joker #12. Yeah, so that was just nuts. So that's what we're giving away. And before we announce the winner, I do want to shout out Page 3 Comics, my local LCS. They donate these books, and so I really appreciate them. But yeah, this is what's up for grabs this week. All right, so let's share our screen here. All right, somebody's really wanting to talk to me via text right now. So here we go. I've already got the video loaded, filtered out the duplicate users. We had 24 unique comments. Let's hit start. Let's see who wins this week. And that is Jason Plath. What a great channel. That Luke Cage cover is fire. Hashtag comic book mafia. So congratulations, Jason. Hit me up on my DMs on Instagram. I'll get your shipping info and we'll get those books shipped out to you right away. All right, last thing. Here are the books we're playing for this week. So neither one of these made my list last week in any way, but it was one of those deals when I went to the LCS, I'm looking for something a little different, and both of these stood out. And I talked about this book. This is Batman Detective Comics number 1053, the cover A. That is a sick penguin cover. Like, no joke. That is fire. And it's a shame I didn't put it on my covers list. But I picked up an extra copy for myself as well as one to give away this week. So I absolutely love that one. And then this one too. And I didn't even really notice it. But this Animal Castle cover, I think this is Animal Castle number 2 or 3. Which one is it? It just came out. I ought to know. Either way, that's cool. I dig that. I think that's a great cover. So these are the 2 books up this week for the giveaway. All right. So what do you got to do to win? It's very simple. You got to be subscribed to the channel. You got to hit the like button on this video. Let me know what you think about the list this week. That's it. With the hashtag comic book mafia, which as I mentioned earlier is the channel membership. $5.99 to be in the comic book mafia, or you can do the $2.99 tribute tier. So yeah, guys, that's it. Those are the books that we're giving away this week. It's going to be a heck of a week, heck of a new comic book day. A lot of really good stuff coming out this week. Definitely going to be an expensive week. But if you're on a budget, check the video out tomorrow. New comic book down a budget. And I'll tell you my top 5 picks and a bonus sleeper pick to kind of help you stay within said budget. All right, guys. That's it for me. I hope you have the best new comic book day ever. I know I'm going to, as we always end these things. Until next time.